cup, they slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe. Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jaggaroo Deva, oh, nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Images of broken light which dance before me like a million eyes that call me on and on across the universe. Thoughts meander like a restless wind inside a letterbox. They tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jaggaroo Deva, oh, nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of life are ringing through my open ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns. It calls me on and on across the universe. Jaggaroo Deva, oh, nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Jaggaroo Deva, Jaggaroo Deva, Jaggaroo Deva, Jaggaroo Deva.
Hey guys, great to see you. Joe here and welcome to another lesson, and thank you very much indeed for joining me for this one. So there you have my rendition of a Beatles song called Across the Universe, and this is one that John wrote back in 1968, and by all accounts it's one that he was very happy with, lyrically at least. I think that his general feeling was that there wasn't enough made of the song in the studio perhaps. It's one of my very favourite Beatles songs, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to take a look at the song. And I think there's lots within the song that I feel could help you with your guitar playing. So let me do what I usually do and zoom in and start explaining this one to you. Okay, so before we get started, I should just point out that the original recording is in E flat. So that means if you want to play along with the CD, you need to tune your guitar down a semitone to E flat tuning, and then you'll be good to play along with the CD or whatever. Okay, so what I'm going to do in the lesson then is show you the intro to start out with, and then I'll show you what's happening in the verses and the choruses. And, you know, for anybody who likes to have the tabs to follow along and the chord sheets and stuff like that, you can just click the link here and go get those from Patreon, should you wish to. Okay, so let's start with the intro, and this is probably the most difficult part of the song. So once you have this down, the rest of the song should be relatively straightforward for you, okay? So let me show you what's happening in the intro. We're going to start out on the 2nd fret, 1st and 3rd strings, and we're going to pluck those 2 strings together in unison, okay? like so, and then we're going to play an open D, 4th string, like so. We're going to come up here to the 10th fret 1st string and the 11th fret 3rd string, and we're going to pluck those two together. And then we're going to play another open D. And then we're going to go to the 9th fret, still 1st and 3rd strings, and we're going to play those two in unison. And then we're going to do exactly the same but on the 7th fret. Pluck those together. And then we come to the 5th fret here, 1st string, and the 6th fret, 3rd string. Okay, and pluck those together. And then we're going to use our ring finger to play this 7th fret 2nd string. Okay, and at that point we come into like an F sharp effectively, but I've found it to be much easier to play it this way, and I'll show you why. So what we're going to do is that we're going to bar the bottom 4 strings there of the 2nd fret. And what's important is that when we play this little figure, that we don't play the 5th and 6th strings here. We're just starting on the 4th, and we're kind of just brushing the 4th and the 3rd. And while we're doing that, we're going to place our ring finger, okay, which is going to be going on and off the 4th string, 4th fret. So let me show you what it sounds like. Okay, just like that. So I'm just playing really the 4th and the 3rd strings. And then I'm in like an A position already. So all I need to do then is play from the 5th string, okay? And we're going to do exactly the same thing with our ring finger, only this time on the 3rd string instead of the 4th. And we're going to play from the 5th here, like I say. Like so. So the first part being, if I put those together for you, you've got... And at that point it goes into the verse, a D. So like I say, the difficulty with this arises not so much with the nice intro there, but when you've played that note, it's getting here and playing accurately. And I think that once you've got that little transition down, you're going to have the intro pretty much sorted out there. So that's what's happening with the intro. As I say, if you're still a little bit unclear, the tabs are, available. So now at that point, another difficulty arises because the intro is finger picked. It means when we come to the verse, it's difficult, we can't really strum it with a plectrum unless we quickly pick up a plectrum and then start strumming it. And I actually personally think it's got a nice feel just using your fingers anyhow. So it goes into this D section, which is the first verse, and each of the verses are different. So let me start explaining what's happening in the verses. We have a D chord to a B minor chord to a F sharp minor chord to an E minor 7 chord to an A7 chord. And I expect you know most of those chords, and the chord diagrams are there anyhow, yeah? But with the E minor 7, just worth pointing out, I play it like just a regular E minor, only I'll put my little finger on the 2nd string of the 3rd fret and play that. Okay, another way to play an E minor 7 is to just play the 5th string of the 2nd fret. Okay, so you got those options there. And as you probably noticed, after that E minor 7 chord, we go into an A7. Now, I should at this point out that only at this point in the song, he plays 5 beats. And now, on my performance that you heard at the beginning of the video, I played 4 beats, just to kind of keep everything straightforward and simple. But John was very quirky like that, and he would add these things into his songs. So just in case you want to play it, faithful to the original, as it were, you play 5 beats on the A7 instead of 4 that I played. So let me show you what it sounds like, okay? This is the first part of the first verse. D, B minor, F sharp minor, E minor 7, A7, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, and I think there's a kind of G note in there that he plays, but these are just minor details. It's not entirely necessary, okay? So that's where he counts the 5 and I played 4. So whatever suits you. Then he comes back to the D. Same thing, B minor, F sharp minor, to the E minor 7. Only instead of going to the A7 at this point, he goes to a G minor. And that leads us into the chorus, which is the D, A7, oh, nothing's gonna change my world. Okay, and then just goes to a G, nothing's gonna change my world. It's pretty easy to hear where it's going. Nothing's gonna change. Back to that A7 world. And then to the G, nothing's gonna change my world. And that doesn't change, yeah? Every time that comes around, that's what's played. So on to the second verse now, and he plays something slightly different. The only difference is that he doesn't actually play this G minor, and he goes to the A7 on both occasions. So let me show you quickly what it sounds like. I'll just play a little quicker than normal. So that's your D, B minor, and your F sharp minor, E minor 7, A7, yeah? And he just repeats that essentially. D, B minor, F sharp minor, E minor 7, which is the point in the first verse where we went to the G minor. Only on the second verse he goes to the A7. And we're just back to another chorus there, okay, which you know about already. It's just revolves around the D, A7 and G. That leads us into the third verse where he does something different again. And he starts out with his standard D, B minor, F sharp minor, never really changes. But what he does this time is he goes to the E minor 7, and to the G minor. So he only does that G minor thing in the first and the third verses. And on the first verse, he does it in the latter half of the verse, and in the third verse, he puts it on the beginning of the verse. Okay, so he comes out of that and he goes back to his D, B minor, F sharp minor, E minor 7, back to the standard kind of A7, yeah? And then we're just back into Jaggeroo, D, to the A7, oh. Nothing's gonna change my world, yeah, to the G. Nothing's gonna change my world, to D, yeah. Nothing's gonna change my world, A7, G. Nothing's gonna change my world. All the end section is just all D. It's just Jaggeroo, Dave, yeah, Jaggeroo, Dave. So that's all that's happening on that section, yeah. Now, another thing to bear in mind is I often like try and encourage you to find your own strumming patterns and things like that. You can't really go wrong with this song just playing down strokes, okay? It's almost like a full one, a half one, or a loud one, a soft one. It's all that kind of idea, okay? So let me just give you an example of a typical kind of verse. Listen how much down is going on here in relation to upstrokes. The upstrokes are few and far between, and generally they're placed on the chord changes. Now that's just what I do, and I would encourage you to do what feels right for you. So let me just show you anyhow. It's a lot of down. Yeah, get the idea? So you really can't go wrong just doing a load of downstrokes for this one. It's really going to work out. And once you're feeling comfortable with that, then you could maybe throw in the odd upstroke. That would be my recommendation on it. So as always, what I would say is just have fun with the song. If you can enjoy the learning process, then you're going to go far with this song. I think it's well worth spending a little bit of time with and being patient with, because there are lots of little technical things going on in that song which will really help tremendously with your guitar playing. So there you have it, guys. Hopefully that was of some help to you. And just remember that you can do any of this stuff that I do. It's just down to practice, essentially. So if you can be a little bit regular about what you do and you just keep plugging away at it, I have no doubt whatsoever that you will get there. And do remember to try and make it your own in some small way. Let's not forget, we don't have George Martin behind the desk and the other Beatles behind us. So this is one of the reasons why we do have to make it our own, because we haven't got all that other instrumentation. So if we put a few things of our own in, that can really help in that sense. I know that there are always people out there who want to play things very, very truly to the original, and that's fine, you can do that. But I do think it's very rewarding to put something of yourself on anything that you play. So anyhow, I hope that, as I say, you found it helpful. And if you did, perhaps you could click on the like or the subscribe. That'd be very much appreciated. And I look forward to seeing you soon with another lesson. In the meantime, take care.